How to master personal change and goal setting. When we are motivated to make changes in our lives, there are certain steps or phases that are common. You will want to understand the factors involved in change and how to take action to strengthen your chance for success. In this video we will look at a formula for personal change, common steps when going through a change, and then how to set goals that will help guide your success. A formula for making changes. Another way of looking at motivation and how it is involved in making changes is demonstrated by the following formula. C equals DXMXPC stands for motivation to change. D stands for dissatisfaction. M stands for model. P stands for process. The transaction of the formula is that motivation to change occurs when you have a level of dissatisfaction with the way things are, a model for how you want them to look instead, and a plan or process for getting to that model result. When you are not happy with how things are at the moment, you will want to change them. But unless you have a vision for how you would prefer things to look and a way that you believe will get you there, you are unlikely to be truly motivated to make a change. Think for a moment about what this equation says about change. In case of change, all three elements D, M, and P must be present. If any of them are absent equals zero, change will be zero. When the amount of motivation to change is high, the amount of at least one of the elements on the other side of the equation must be high if the equation is going to balance out, if change is going to be successful. Alternatively, if any one of the elements on the right-hand side of the equation is high enough, change will eventually be brought about. The equation means that motivation to change comes from having a level of dissatisfaction with the status quo, a vision for something better, and a plan for how to get there. You may have an idea for a change, but if dissatisfaction with the current way of doing things is not there, you're not going to be motivated to take the step necessary to make the change happen. If you lack the model for what you want things to look like, you will have nothing to direct your activity towards. And if you have the dissatisfaction and the model idea but no way to get there, how would you even begin to make the change? All three of the elements needs to be present for change to take place and be successful. The process of change. The general process of change that an individual goes through starts from denial, to resistance, to exploration, to commitment. Denial. The process begins by the change being identified or suggested. There may be a general attitude of denial. Thoughts arise such as, this isn't necessary, the way I have always done things works just fine. In this way, the focus is on the past. You have a kind of, if it's not broke, don't fix it, attitude. You might still be in denial of the need for the change. Other emotions you might experience could include shock, discouragement, disbelief, anxiety, depression, grieving, uncertainty, immobilization. Resistance. At this point you might feel resistant to the change. You might start wondering what you are doing and your motivation to make the change will be absent or will lapse. It will take being attentive to what is happening inside your head in order to successfully overcome your resistance. Some of the behaviors or symptoms you might experience at this stage could include suffering, anger, or stress, loss of productivity, confusion over roles and future, self-sabotage of the change, bargaining, loss of commitment, lethargy, exploration. The next stage occurs when you begin to accept that the future will involve the change. You now begin to consider what the change will actually mean to your life and lifestyle. You may begin enjoying some of the benefits of the changes, even if you're not completely convinced yet that this is something you can do. This is a sort of learning phase for you. At this stage you should try to focus on the good side of the change. What will the strengths of the new change be? Will you be able to speak a language you couldn't before? If it's at work, will the change position you to be stronger against the competition in the future, which will in turn foster job security? What benefits and opportunities will there be that there haven't been before the change? Commitment. In the final stage of the change process, you have become committed to the change and to the remainder of the process in getting there. The commitment is now part of the environment in which you are operating and is becoming the norm. You may even find that you are becoming a model for others. Key points. Motivation to change comes from having a level of dissatisfaction with the status quo, a vision for something better, and a plan for how to get there. But unless you have a vision for how you would prefer things to look and a way that you believe will get you there, you are unlikely to be truly motivated to make a change. The general process of change that an individual goes through starts from denial, to resistance, exploration and commitment. Attitude of denial may suggest that the change is not necessary and suggest you remain comfortable with the status quo. Also, you might feel resistant to the change, but it will take being attentive to what is happening inside your head to successfully overcome your resistance. Exploration occurs when you begin to accept the change and begin to consider what the change will actually mean to your life and lifestyle. The change will happen when you become committed to the change and to the remainder of the processes of getting there. For further support, at Talent and Skills Hub, you can be supported by our instructors, counselors, and mentors on employability skills and other personal and professional development. You can book an appointment for one-to-one or group tutoring through our website, ts-hub.com.